Do 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 Mr. B, yeah. Okay, so the play opens and we find out that the Duke of Athens, who is this famous hero named Theseus, is dying to marry his love, the Amazon queen Hippolyta. That's cool and all, but a little weird because they met each other while fighting and Theseus kind of kidnapped her to bring her back to Athens, so a little creepy. Anyways, the wedding is like 4 days' time, which is pretty soon, but nobody's planned a thing, so side note, as someone who's planned a wedding, I can tell you that it takes more than 4 days to get a sweet set of threads and a nice cake, not to mention to plan an entire multi-week party, which is for a duke and duchess. I mean, that's a little silly that they think they can get it done in 4 days, but whatever. They're going to put on the slaves anyway, so wait. Theseus does the smart thing and delegates the plans to a guy named Philostrate, whose name means lover of battle, which is neither here nor there. While Aegeus is moaning on about how long it is before he can, marry his new wife, an aggrieved father named Aegeus shows up, or maybe it's Aegeus. I'm not really sure, actually. I should reference YouTube. Weird.
Aegeus or Aegeus. Aegeus or Aegeus.
Okay. All right. Anyways, Aegeus is all like, my daughter won't listen to me and marry this young man I find agreeable, so please tell her to listen or, let me kill her. Which seems reasonable if you're an Athenian or a psychopath. Turns out that his daughter Hermia is in love with this dude named Lysander, but her dad likes this guy Demetrius, who in turn loves Hermia. Oh, and of course, Hermia's best friend Helena loves Demetrius, so it's a bit like Riverdale, it's complicated. Hermia is told that she has to marry Demetrius or be killed, or that she will be sent off to live in a nunnery. Actually, I think they say convent, but I like the phrase get thee to a nunnery, so we're going to stick with it. Hermia's all like, no way, and then she and her lover Lysander decide to sneak off to his aunt's house and get married anyways. They end up telling Hermia's BFF Helena about the plan because she's super whiny, and she won't stop moping about how Hermia has beguiled her love Demetrius with her good looks. Helena immediately runs off to tell Demetrius because she's either a total jerk or because love makes you do crazy things sometimes. Oh yeah, so in the forest, there's these powerful fairies who do magic and play pranks on old people, and they have to get through the forest to get to the aunt's house, of course, right? And so the king of the fairies, Oberon, and his lovely queen Titania are having a fight over a little boy. Basically, Oberon wants the boy to be part of his posse, but Titania's having none of it. Because she basically adopted the boy, when her friend died giving birth to him, and who really would give up a child you cared for to somebody who just wants him because he might be fun to party with? I mean, their fight was messed up the entire natural order of things, which is bad.
Like flooding and dead sheep bad.
Anyways, Oberon decides to put a magic spell on his wife so she'll fall in love with something hideous, and then while she's totally enamored, he plans to take the boy from her. Basically, he's going to drug her with the juice of a magical flower, make fun of her, and take something that she loves away from her. So, nice dude. Side note, Elizabethan audience probably wouldn't have thought this was a bad idea. After all, Titania's choice to disobey her husband, just like Hermia's choice to disobey her father and the Duke, was a violation of the natural order of the universe, according to the Elizabethan way of thinking. Punishing her would actually help restore balance to the universe. Anyways, along the way, Oberon and his henchman Robin Goodfellow, who you can call Puck because why not, decide that they're also going to help poor Helena out. She's been following Demetrius into the wood, not knowing that no means no, and somewhere along the way Demetrius has had enough of her and threatens to beat her and do mischief to her, which, sounds pretty bad. So he's getting drugged too, with the hope that he falls in love with the girl who's chasing him. It backfires, of course, when Puck accidentally juices Lysander instead of Demetrius, and Lysander wakes up to fall violently in love with Helena, who thinks he's just making fun of her. Later, Puck fixes his mistake so that both Demetrius and Lysander are in love with Helena, who thinks that they're both making fun of her. So the boys who were in love with Hermia at the beginning are now in love with Helena, and Helena feels like everybody's making fun of her, Hermia's confused, and of course mad that Helena keeps making fun of how short she is. Are you confused yet? Well, if you are, take a second to enjoy the fact that throughout the whole play, there are these group of workers from Athens who are doing this absolutely incredibly awful job of trying to put on a play for Theseus' wedding. The biggest fool of all of them is named Bottom, and by midway through the play, the fairy Puck has decided it would be hilarious to change his head into that of a donkey, which, yeah, objectively hilarious. Bottom is left wandering around alone in the forest as all his buddies are scared of his, half-human hybrid, and Puck arranged for Titania to fall in love with him due to the influence of that magical flower from earlier. Side note. This may be the only time in a high school English class where it's actually appropriate to say that someone has fallen in love with a bit of a jackass. So, thank you, Shakespeare, for that. Oberon and Puck then get to go through the tedious business of tidying up their handiwork, dejuicifying Lysander so that he'll fall back in love with Hermia, leaving Demetrius juice that he loves Helena, and then of course making fun of Titania for falling in love with the donkey guy. After getting his fill of cruel taunting of his wife, Oberon decides that he actually is pitying her because she's pretty sad. doting over a donkey. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Anyways, he instructs Puck to take the donkey head off while he takes the spell off his queen. Of course, he does take the boy from her, so in the end he gets everything he wants, as a good Elizabethan king should in a comedy. Theseus arrives to see all the young people sleeping, and they wake up to the sound of him blaring horns in his ears, which is a little rude, and they try to explain what's happening, which is hard because it all seems so impossible. I mean, it's a bit like a dream, like a Midsummer Night's Dream. Anyways, Theseus basically says, "Sucks to be you, Aegeus. I'm letting your daughter marry the guy she likes, and we're going to do a triple wedding. Today." At the end of the play, we get to watch the mechanical men of Athens put on the worst play ever conceived, which is hilarious in a sort of raunchy comedy meets the Three Stooges kind of way before all the humans leave the stage, and then the fairies come on and do some dancing, some celebrating, some singing. And then Puck ends the play by breaking the fourth wall and talks directly to the audience, saying, "If we shadows have offended, think but this and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear." Basically, he's saying that if you didn't like the play, well, the play wasn't real anyways, just a figment of your imagination. A dream. A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's it. Simple, really. Do 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 Mr. B, yeah.
If you like it, why didn't you listen?